All right, it is time for one of my favorite videos, my favorites video. Wow. Hey lovelies. Like I said, it's time for a favorites video. This is sort of my April roundup of all the things that I've been loving. Do I have any that I haven't been loving so much? I might have one or two here. I'm not sure. We'll see as we get into this. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Let's get into this. We've got a bit to chat about. Lord knows I can get gabby, so we're just gonna keep this intro short. Okay, I don't think we've ever started off with fragrance, but that's gonna be where I start today because it's what's sitting here in front of me. I have one that's very, very new and one that's definitely not so much. Well, it is new to me. Anyway, we're gonna get into that. So let's talk about the new. This is the Ellis Brooklyn Sunfruit fragrance. This I picked up in the recent Sephora VIB sale and she's good. She is not what I expected her to be, but we still fell in love, you know? Like that's how that goes. Sometimes romances start to bud, even though it's someone that wouldn't be your ideal partner, right? Wow, that's a weird analogy right there. But this fragrance is perfect if you like a fresh, fruity, slightly creamy. It's like having a beautiful fruit smoothie sitting on the beach with your suntan lotion on. This one I thought would have more of a fig note in the front of it because they talked about the fig and the coconut, but it definitely, I smell a little bit more like pear, like almost like some lychee. I don't think there's lychee in this, but it's just more like fresh and fruity with a little bit of that beachy vibe to it. And of course the bottle is so beautiful. I love this. I've really been enjoying using this one. Ooh, I feel like I've already got like a little bit of like a dip in it. That's crazy. But this is going to be one that I'm going to enjoy using this spring and summer. So I wanted to let you all know, give you an update. I'm still really liking it. I will say that Ellis Brooklyn fragrances, for me, the longevity of them isn't a super long experience. I think that's also because to me, most of these are a little bit more fresh, at least the ones that I have. They're a little bit more fresh, a little bit more clean, a little bit more crisp. So what tends to last the longest on me is something that's a little bit sexy, a little bit deep, a little bit ambery. So I don't really have any of those from Ellis Brooklyn. I will say the Apres scent does like linger a little bit on me, but again, that one has a little bit more of that warmth to it. It's like warm and crisp at the same time. Anyway, I've talked about that in other videos. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this. But this one, I would say I get like maybe 4 hours. I don't know why I'm smelling it. It's not like that's going to tell me how long it lasts on me, but I would say I get like 4 to 5 hours of this. So if I did want to have so if this is what I'm wanting to wear like all day long, I'd either need to travel with this or have a little travel size. It's not a big deal to me. Like for me, it's most important to just like feel fresh at the beginning of my day. Scent is all about having it for me, not necessarily having it for others. I like the experience of putting it on, and honestly on most days, especially if I'm working, I don't even know what's going on in life, let alone like how I smell. I'm gonna be real. So on most days, this isn't a big deal that this doesn't last all day for me. All right, like I said, this other one is not new at all. In fact, it's discontinued. You can search, you can still find it out there. But this one is discontinued. This is the Clean Reserve Sueded Oud. Okay, so I have a little sample of this fella in my collection. I think there was like a rose, an oud, and maybe like a vanilla or something. I honestly don't remember, but it was a little set around the holidays that Clean had put out. And I bought it. I probably wore each of them like once or twice, and I think they just got like put somewhere in the region of my cabinet that I couldn't find. I don't know. But I just found this recently and I tried it on and I was like, oh my God. Okay, so this is, it has like a crisp, woody, like cedar scent to it. It feels, yeah, it smells a little bit woody, and it's not woody in the sense of like by the fireplace though. Like it's not that like fire scent. It's not smoky. This to me is like a very sexy, clean-cut man just got out of the shower, used like a sweet fresh soap, and then rolled around in wood chips, and you're like getting a hug from him. That's what I'm gonna go with. It definitely has that like cozy skin scent. It is a little bit fresh and sweet, but I don't mean sweet as in sugary. It just doesn't have that like deep musky tone to it. It's a little bit lighter and more fresh of a wood scent. I really like this. I wore this the one day layered over Glossier U, and it was really, really nice. This is just a good one. It's just a good one, and I had to have it. I found it actually on Mercari, but I know that one site is selling it right now and actually at a pretty good deal. I think this whole bottle is like 65 bucks, which is actually a really good deal. So if you still want it, I will make sure to have that link down below. But this one smells so good. I will definitely be getting some use out of this spring, but I could also see using this on top of scents in the winter to just give a little bit of that like woodsy vibe without being too heavy. I really enjoy this one. And again, I do want to just note that this fragrance is one that lasts on me about 4 to maybe 6 hours. I just feel like the lighter, fresher scents just don't have that long of a scent projection. I think that, you know, it's just something in that crispness. I will say that I also feel like my skin has been hella dry recently, and I am not good about putting on moisturizer. So if you're good about moisturizing your body before you put on your fragrance, usually that makes it last a little longer. I have not been so good at that, so maybe that would make a difference. But both of those, I would say I get about 4 to 6 hours. All right, let's move into a little bit of skincare. I don't have a lot here, but I do have a few that I've wanted to talk to you about. I actually have a couple here that I've been using for quite a while, and I just haven't chatted about them. So I was sent both of these from Stylevana. This one is from, I believe it's Make Prem. Sorry about that if I'm not pronouncing it right, but this is the Safe Me Relief Moisture Cleansing Foam. So this says that it's a low irritant and mild acid foam. The pH is 5.5. So this was actually sent in a gift box. It had a trio of products. So you had this cleanser, a little sample size of a milky cleanser, and then an SPF. So to be honest, I was mostly excited to try the milky cleanser because I was sent this box in the dead of winter, and I was like, oh great, a milky cleanser. I think that that's going to be beautiful on the skin. I will say that one from this brand works really nice for me as a morning cleanse, like if I just want to refresh my skin but I don't have any makeup on or anything. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough for me. This one, however, okay, so if you are used to the texture of the Milk Makeup cleanser, you know, the one in the yellow tube, it has that little bit thicker feel to it where you need to like emulsify it in your hands a bit. This is like that on steroids. It's really nice and thick. It does have a lather to it, but the lather feels more luscious. It doesn't feel like a strippy lather. It just feels like hugging bubbles. I don't know how to explain it. I just love the texture of this. It feels so nice. It really does a nice job of getting makeup off. I will say if I've got like a lot of mascara on or something, I'll go through with a balm first, but this really gets off all my makeup really nicely. It has a fresh, I don't think that it's super scented, but it has a slightly fresh medicinal scent, like almost slightly Vicks Vapo Rubby, but it doesn't have like a mentholated feel. So your face doesn't get cool, your eyeballs don't sting, anything like that. I think that it's probably just like the fact that it's not completely covered up in other fragrance, but I really like this. The nice thing about this one as well is that this is gonna go a long way because you just need the tiniest amount, because like I said, it's so thick. You really need to put it in your palm and then emulsify it in your damp hands before you put it on your face, because it's just super thick. So I really like this one. I will definitely be repurchasing this at some point. I will say I have so many cleansers to get through that I'm trying to like try them all, see what I really like. But if it got to the point where I need another one, this is definitely going on my list. Okay, the other product that I want to talk to you about, and you can see here that I've I've gone through quite a bit. I think that this got put in a travel bag, and when I was hunting around for my favorites for last month, I didn't see it because it was in my travel bag at that point. But this is the, oh wow, okay, Punkang Yule. I am probably butchering that. Calming Moisture Barrier Cream. So this to me is a lighter version of the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. It has the same like no scent. Yeah, it has the same like fresh feel on the skin. It just has a lighter feel to it. It isn't quite as thick. I'd say it still is really nice and hydrating, but I don't think it's quite as rich as that one. So if you've ever tried that one and you want one that's just like a bump up from that, this is really nice though. I used this a lot through the winter time, and it was really nice. I was using it in combination with like serums and oils, but this is a really beautiful product. As you can see, I'm really getting down there on that. Again, this is one that I would really consider getting again. Very beautiful. It didn't irritate me at all. It didn't like feel like it was just sitting on top of my skin. I really felt like my skin was absorbing it. So these two right here are definitely ones that I would consider repurchasing in the future. Thank you, Stylovana, for sending these over. And that's, oh no, I have one more skincare product to talk about that I got recently. Okay, so I have to call this like a favorite so far because I haven't been using it for that long, and for a product like this, I feel like I need a full month of usage to really give you my opinion, but this is a so far so good opinion. This is the Pharmacy 10% Waterless Vitamin C Serum. If you saw my VIB sale haul, you know that I picked this one up. I really wanted to try this because I love pharmacy products, and it looked like the texture of this was going to be one that I really enjoy. I love to bits the Paula's Choice C15 Super Booster, but that one is a liquid in a pipette and it just gets kind of messy, whereas this definitely is much easier to apply. This comes in a pump and it has almost like a gelée formula, and I feel like it's still helping to brighten my skin. I don't know if I feel like it is quite as effective as the Paula's Choice, but this one is just, it's just nicer to put on the skin. I'm gonna be honest here. This one I can put on, I don't have to worry about it dripping. It can really like be massaged into the skin, whereas the Paula's Choice, as I mentioned earlier, I've recently started to spray a hydrating mist on, drop a few droplets on, and then like quickly massage it in, because otherwise if I go brr, brr, then like it starts to run down and I'm trying to like massage it in and it almost like dries / absorbs into the skin before I can get it everywhere. So this is a little bit more user friendly. I don't think that this one is quite as powerful, but that could be a good or a bad thing depending on your skin and depending on what you're looking for out of a vitamin C. But I am so far really enjoying this one. I will again have to give it another few weeks to let you know how I feel about it compared to the C15 Super Booster. This one is also, I believe, a little bit less expensive, which is nice. And I feel like Pharmacy, for being, you know, like one of those mid to high end skincares, that they do have pretty good prices. And I've really liked almost every single thing that I've tried from the brand. So far, so good with this one. All right, so let's get into the makeup. So I have a few base products to talk to you about. If you've been watching my recent videos, you're probably not gonna be surprised to know that the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation is in here. I've been loving this one. I really, truly, I was surprised because I don't feel like I'm a foundation wearer. I do feel like though this one you can blur out enough that it really can be a very light coverage. I have also mixed it in with my Glow Recipe Niacinamide Watermelon Dewdrops. I probably said that out of order, but you know what I'm talking about. This one, by the way, this is technically also a favorite, but I feel like I talked about this a couple times ago, but this product just looks so nice on the skin. To me, this is more of like a satin finish. It has a bit of a nice glow to it, but it's not like wet looking, you know, like you can have a glow, like a little bit of like a velvet finish to it without it looking like it's going to be damp. This does not do that. It doesn't look wet. And I've actually been liking that because I feel like it minimizes texture a little bit and it just looks a little more natural. Does it look quite as youthful, if you will? Maybe not, but it looks definitely very flattering. So take that for what you will. You can figure out what I'm trying to say, even if I can't, hopefully. The other one on the other side of the like glow factor is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. Okay, if you know, you know, I love this. I've talked about it before. I'm not gonna keep on this, but here's the thing. Every time I try something else and I come back to this, I'm like, wow, this is my bae. This is my product. I hope they never discontinue this. I hope they never reformulate it. I love it. It just looks so nice on the skin. It is more of that like light blur to the skin. It helps even everything out a little bit. It is more of a light coverage. I wouldn't even say it's like light medium, but man, this is just so gorgeous. I get compliments every time I wear it. I just feel very confident, even if it's not covering up all of my like hyperpigmentation or if I have a blemish or two, I just still feel very, very nice. And it is a little bit more glowy though. So I do feel like that tends to show pores a little bit more. It shows texture a little bit more, but the skin just looks so healthy and radiant. So I feel like I've got one on each side of the spectrum. This is about as matte as your girl will ever get. I can't imagine ever getting like more matte than this because I just don't love that. But this is really great for like that like dewy, hydrated, juicy glow. So loving both of these. So glad to have both of them in my life. I've really been trying not to get too crazy with the base products recently. I usually stick to my 2 or 3 that are tried and true, and then recently all of these brands have been launching all sorts of complexion. I of course got the Nars, which I hadn't intended to do, but I got a sample of it and loved it. I did just get the Danessa Myrick's Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. That one is literally in the mail on its way to me, hopefully today. So probably by the time this video goes up, the review of that will already be up. I got 3 shades, so I can't wait to try them out. And if you want to see that, I'll make sure that that video is linked up here and down in the description box. Okay, so, oh, I have one more product. I did talk about this in a recent video. I said that I'd gotten a sample of this, bought it, and then completely forgot about it, and now I recently pulled it out. This is the Lancome Tentidol Ultra Wear Concealer. This concealer is so nice. I would say it's a medium to full coverage, and it is hydrating, but not overly dewy looking. Like, I feel like I could probably wear this and not set it. I think it like is almost self-setting. Ooh, that's a hefty claim. I'm not gonna say that, but I have had times where I've like been like doing my under eye, and I usually do like right here where I get a little bit of redness, and then I get distracted, I do my brows and la la la, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I haven't put any powder on, and I look and it's like, oh, she still looks good. She still looks fresh. Usually I just use the very slightest amount of powder under my eyes anyway, but I feel like you could get away with not powdering this one, especially if you have normal to dry skin where I am. Maybe if you're oily, a little bit of powder would do you well, but this has just become another one that I love. I've definitely found that in the last couple of years, my concealer preferences have changed a little bit. I want something that is going to look fresh and nice, even if it doesn't cover up quite as much. This one has really nice coverage, but I would rather have something that still looks like beautiful skin and maybe shows like my under eye circles a little bit through, but it still looks like skin. So I'm really enjoying this one. I have to say, like, Lancome is not a brand that I've even like really pondered using much recently. I just know that this was one that was being talked about within the beauty sphere. I of course hopped on the wagon, decided to try it, fell in love with it. So if you haven't tried it, but you were like me and you saw all the hype, here's your reminder to go give it a go. Get a sample, try it out. I really love it, and maybe you will too. Another one that I purchased quite a bit ago that I have recently been pulling back into my collection are the Auric Glow Lust. I have the shades Morganite and Pyrite, and so sometimes I will use one or the other, or a lot of times I will mix them together. Morganite is like a lighter, cooler shade. By the way, I have the OG Morganite. I know that the shade was reformulated a bit. I believe it was made to be, was it a little lighter and maybe a little less cool toned? I'm not quite sure, but I have the original formula. And then Pyrite is more of like, it's almost like my skin tone. In a recent video, I used it just to like give a little bit of glow to the skin, but almost like my skin, but glowier, right over the top of my bronzer. So I really do like these. There's just something so luscious, juicy, hydrated about them. And man, a little goes a long way. I won't be needing to buy another one, maybe ever. This is definitely still gonna be here, and it will probably expire before I ever go through it, but I do love these. All right, I want to talk about this eye primer. This is the Jason Wu Prime Eye. I picked this up when I did my Jason Wu try-on. So I had quite a few products that I tried. I will say this is one of the only few that over time has like made the cut for me. There's just something about this primer. So I have the shade 2. I think the shade 1 is white. It's just like honestly white, because this is white with a dab of beige. I mean, you can see, I mean, I am not even like a medium skin tone, and this looks white right here. So on me, this is what I will use if I'm using like a lighter or like brighter shade, just to help it pop out a little bit more, but it's not so white that I can't like blend it all the way up to my brow bone. I have been curious to try the next shade down, but I almost feel like that would be like a little too dark. I might consider it to maybe like mix in with this one at a point in time. I was actually perusing some website that carried this. I think it was maybe Camera Ready. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should pick this up. I was like, you have enough eye primer for right now. Just wait until you use something up, and then maybe you can consider it. But I do really like this one. Again, I have light 2, and I just find that it helps cover discoloration just enough, and it does help my makeup last. It isn't a tacky base at all, but it does seem to help the eyeshadow last. So I really do like it. It's an inexpensive product, and I think Jason Wu might still be at Target. I'm not quite sure, but I will find it and link it down below for you. I recently picked up the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Pillow Talk, the lightest one, and I adore this shade. It is just so, so beautiful. It is that perfect, like, rosy champagne. Obviously I've got the Jason Wu on, so my skin's looking a little chalky right there. But this is just like that perfect, like I said, it's a rose gold mixed with like a champagne shade. It's so beautiful. I used it in my recent like rosy makeup video along with another Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, all the rosy things, all the glowy things. If you want to see this on my face, you can go ahead and check out that video, but I am really loving this one. These are pricey. They're so pricey for how much you get inside, but a little bit does go a long way, and I truly love them. I just feel like they are a very user-friendly formula and definitely worth it. So another one that is very user-friendly and worth it is another one that I used in that rosy video. It's not rosy, but I did use it in that video. This is the Danessa Myrick's Vision Flush in Nutcracker. So these are a like all over color product. Of course, that's how Denessa does. So this, I would say, makes a very good like cool toned bronzer or a contour. You can see it right there. These can, you know, really, again, be used all over the face. I will say, I don't know how I would feel using this one on the eyes. It might work if you blend it out enough, but because it is a cream product, I feel like it wouldn't have the most longevity on the eyes because it doesn't, it dries down, but it's not like that, like, I don't know. I just don't think that I would like it on my eyeballs. I've never used it though, so what do I know? But if you guys can see, it has almost like a more satin finish to it. It's not one of those creams that dries down crazy matte, but it also isn't overly glowy. So I think it just really mimics skin really well, and I would like it so much. So this has become one that I really like to use as like a beautiful contour. It blends out so beautifully. I'm really excited to have this one, and it's one that I just found recently in my collection, and I was like, oh, I haven't been using that. So if you want something like this and you want something a little bit warmer, the shade Toasted Almond would be for you. That's more of like that like bronzy shade, but they're both very beautiful. Okay, let's talk eyeshadow. I have two palettes here. I've done videos on both of these, so I'm not gonna go into it too much, but I do wanna let you know that I love both of these. So first we have the Nomad Cosmetics Paradise Islands palette. This is such a beautiful spring palette. I did a video with 3 looks, so if you want some inspiration or you wanna see more with this, you can check that one out. I'll make sure to have it linked up here, but oh my gosh, like this to me is my version of what I want when I think pastel palette, because there are a couple shades in here that I think truly are pastel, but there's also some bright poppy shades. There's still looks that I haven't discovered within this. It's just so pretty. The quality is great. I really like pairing it with this primer right here because it is light enough that it helps these colors really pop. It's gorgeous, stunning, probably my favorite Nomad Cosmetics palette. I can't wait to see what the brand comes out with in the future, and I really thought that it was great, the foundations that they partnered with to donate some of the proceeds from these palettes. So definitely go ahead and give this palette a check out. Give the brand a holler if you haven't ever tried them. So stunning and such sweet people. So definitely wanted to mention that one. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. So of course, this is the one in that rosy makeup video. I'm not gonna go into this one too much, but I did do 2 looks with this, but this one, I just haven't been able to put down, y'all. I love it. This is definitely, in that video, I said that this is like pinks for grown-ups. Like this is just, it's not like those princessy pinks. This is more of that like sexy rosy makeup. On Instagram, I was sharing that one of the looks from my video, Jeremy had said like, oh, I would like you to do your makeup like that on our wedding day. Like that just looks so pretty. And I really think that that is what this palette can exude. It's like, it can be sweet and sexy, beautiful, sophisticated, and refined. I just love it. I love it. I was not planning on getting this one. This was a total FOMO purchase. It was influenced by a few of my creator friends, and I'm so glad that I got it. So I'm glad to have this one in my collection. Just wanted to let you know that I'm still loving it. So then a couple more products. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is totally like me talking about a lot of the makeup that was in that rosy makeup video, but I really did. I found that I just loved everything that I tried in there, including the Merit Signature lipsticks. This is the shade Fashion, and this is not the one that I wore in that video, but this is definitely a beautiful, beautiful shade. Like these lipsticks to me just have such a wonderful, user-friendly wearable formula. It goes on like a creamy satin lipstick. It dries down just a little bit. It never becomes matte. It's not a matte. Like, you guys know that there really aren't that many matte lipsticks that I enjoy, but it isn't a slide around lipstick. It's like a satin cream that stays put. I really like it. It's not like a long wear lipstick by any means, but there's just something in the finish of this that is just perfect. They did a great job. I'm really tempted to get more of the shades, but I need to cool it with the lipsticks. Let me tell you, I'm looking through my collection and I'm like, okay, not only do we need to reorganize all of this, but we need to put the brakes on the lip products purchase for sure. So that's definitely a lovely one. I'm gonna hold off on buying any more. The other lip item that I really have been enjoying, I love the Lisa Eldridge lip pencils. This is the Enhance and Define lip pencil in Affair. This is the color that has been a go-to for me a lot this month. It does not go well with the Myrick that I just showed you, but this is like a warm nude shade. It goes well. I mean, you can honestly, you can use this with a pink lipstick to like nude it out a little bit. You could use it with a brown lipstick to give a little bit more lightness to it. You could use it, of course, with just like your basic nude to enhance your lip. It is just so, so pretty. Like, there it is, like smudged out a little bit, but these are so creamy, but so long wearing. Like, Lisa just found the perfect formula. I really love these. You know that I love her velvet lipsticks. Like, there is just something to the True Velvets. That is like the only matte lipstick I think I could ever wear anymore. And so these pair lovely with those, but I've just also found that I love grabbing these and putting it with a gloss, put it with another lipstick. They're so, so nice. So I could see myself picking up more shades of these in the future, even though I just said that I won't be buying any lip products. Is that it? I think that might be it. Yeah, I think we got through everything. So hopefully this was just a brief look into my favorites. Oh, hold on. Okay, I have two facial sprays that I want to talk about. One is a bit of a fail and one is a favorite. So we're gonna go with the fail first. So the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1. I really remember enjoying this spray. I remember enjoying this spray. I don't know what is wrong with this pump. This pump spray hates me. It hates me. It isn't just like direct, but it's very, very wet. And if I'm using this as a priming spray, because that's what it says it's a primer and a setting spray. If I use this as a primer spray, fine. I don't mind if you attack my face with like dampness, but as a setting spray, I really don't like that. I really don't like that. And this spray just like gets me so, so wet. So I don't love that. I'm thinking about putting this in another sprayer. I hate having to do that, but I may do that because I like the formula of it, but it needs to be more fine. That is an attack spray. The spray that I've really been liking is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. So this one is hydrating. It sort of is along the vibes of this one, but I've been having a hard time finding something that doesn't, I want to set down my makeup, but I don't want it to look extra glowy. I don't want it to look extra wet. I've really been finding that I like to keep this area right here powdered just to avoid an overly shiny look, especially moving into the spring and summer. I am normal to dry, but right now I feel like my skin's been moving out of the dry season and into the normal season. So this is gonna start getting a little shiny for me. So if I put my makeup on, I do my little bit of powder that I usually put on my T-zone, and I put down a setting spray that is like overly wet, then I feel like I need to powder again. And then it's like adding up more layers of powder, which I am not all about. So I keep trying to find the products that like will set my makeup, but not leave me looking wet. So you guys know that I really like the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Setting Mist. This one leaves your face looking glowy though. It makes your skin look extra glowy. Not like a greasy or like a, you just sprayed shiny stuff all over your face, but it looks very, very glowy. Like it just looks really hydrated, which is great, but like I don't want to see that right here. So I've been liking this one. It hasn't been doing that as much. So I am just not sure. If you have a spray that you like that helps set your face, it isn't overly drying, but it isn't overly dewy either, let me know. I'm gonna try putting this one in a different spray bottle. I'm wondering if like just using less is gonna make me look less wet. But for now, I really truly think I might even like, this just sounds so extra. I might spray my face, like, okay, do my makeup, and then make sure to have powdered this area right here, then spray my face, and then end up going back through this area, like my nose and whatever we call this, and even this, and maybe this, like this whole T-zone area, but especially right here, and powder it. at the very end. Like, it just seems ridiculous to go through because I don't want to like layer powder over powder, but I also don't want to undo the look that I just refined with the powder. Anyway, okay, that's it. That's the end of this favorites video. It got a little rambly at the end there, but if you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like. Thank you, lovelies, so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. It really does mean so much, and I will see you really soon.